This is going to be a sort of in-depth tutorial and overview for Sai 2, my main art software when using a PC. There will be sections and timestamps in the video and the description for each topic that will be discussed. I suggest you turn on closed captions. It will have the option for English and Spanish. Give a like and comment if this video helped, and give suggestions of what else you want me to go over in the future, or if you want to learn something in specific. Videos come out every Tuesday and Fridays now, so subscribe if you want to see more of this type of content, speed paints, or art advice videos. Stay until the end for important information and check the description as it'll have a lot of the links referenced in the video. So first, what is Sai 2 in the first place? Sai 2 is, of course, the successor of Sai, a very popular Japanese drawing application for art enthusiasts, especially those starting out digital art. The full title is actually Tool Sai 2 Beta, and it's still in development. It's only natively available for Windows. The first Tool Sai has retained its popularity. It lacked a lot of features that other more robust art software like Photoshop had, but having a much lower default price tag at around $50 or 5,400 Japanese yen as a one-time payment. With the development of Tool Sai 2, its capabilities have expanded to include much of what its users wished for, while still being a light application with relatively small file size and very low system requirements. Sai 2 has big changes that are still growing to this day, but doesn't require an additional purchase. Anyone that bought a license for the first Tool Sai should be able to use it. On systemax.jp, when you scroll down, there will be a link to the development room. There you can download Sai 2 Beta. Download 32-bit or 64-bit depending on your system's operating system bit type. What you downloaded is a zip file and you have to extract it so you can use it. If you haven't already purchased Tool Sai before, and scroll down to purchase licensed software for Tool Sai 1 so you can get the full version. Of course, you can just try the 30-day trial first as it has all the features of the full version until the time limit runs out. For purchasing the license, follow the instructions. You can pay with PayPal or debit/credit cards. Use an email that you have access to and can use. If you've already purchased it before and have access to the email you used to buy it before, but don't have the license information anymore, you can email the person in systemax.jp so that you can get your license information again. The information you need to put are the software license number, certificate password, and system ID. The first two will be in the email. The third one you can find by opening Sai 2 file in the folder you downloaded and click the Help option on the top menu and selecting System ID. Copy and paste that into the respective field in the license page, then download the resulting license file after you put everything there. Move the license file into the Sai 2 folder where the Sai 2 app is. Then you're done and have the full version. The resulting license file will be different between Sai 1 and 2. And that's how you get Sai 2. When you open the Sai 2 app, you can customize the layout by going to Window on the top menu bar of Sai 2. You can tweak that as you like. Where the color wheel is, you can change what's visible on that toolbar. On the bottom, there are bars with percentages that tell you how much of the CPU is being used at the time and how much disk space is occupied. Be careful not to do anything intensive while a lot of the CPU is being used. Go to File on the top menu and there will be options to make a new canvas. Open an already existing image file as a canvas. Select from files Sai 2 has recently used with export your canvas after you've opened one, toggle off or on the option to use the file viewer for opening or saving files, recover work from crashes, and the option to create canvas from clipboard, which basically means that if you copied an image even outside the program, you can paste it into the program as a canvas. I won't go over every little variation of these things, but the main important stuff that would be necessary or really useful to know. With that in mind, when you make a new canvas, you can change the size of the canvas either by selecting a preset or putting in the numbers yourself. Resolution can be chosen here, which is especially useful for when you want to print your artwork. DPI is dots per inch. A high DPI can impact your computer's performance, so if your PC can't handle it because it's a low-end machine or old, you'll have to compromise. In this example, I'll just make a 1080p canvas, which is 1920 pixels wide by 1080 pixels height canvas size. In this case, has 250 dpi, which is smaller dimensions in dots per inch than what I usually work with, but it'll run smoother. With the default background color option, I usually choose a neutral gray or a transparent background to make things easier on me, and start with something that isn't a plain white canvas color that can hurt my eyes over time and cause eye fatigue. So let's start with that kind of canvas now. Let's test out the brushes first. The pen tool is the default brush and has a few options to change, like the hardness with these icons here. Hardness changes the edge of the brush. Other options you can change are what the pen pressure or how hard you press on your drawing tablet does, whether it changes size or opacity or neither. Let's test it out with a couple variations of the pen now. The airbrush tool is just that, an airbrush. It's basically a pen tool with very soft edges and low enough opacity that it can be see-through. Meanwhile, the brush tool has a couple more options, and it can be used to blend colors, and the sliders here dictate how much it can blend or put colors down on the canvas and the like. The water tool is mostly for blending, especially with the light pen pressure, but when you press hard, color starts to come out. The marker tool is a bit weird and can only color well when there's already color in the layer it's on. Binary tool is a pixel brush for making pixel art. Works better with lower resolution and canvas size. The eraser is self-explanatory, but I don't really use it and instead use other brushes with the erase option close to the color options on. The brush tools can have textures and shapes added to them. They have default textures and brush shapes that come with Sai 2 pre-installed, but you can add some yourself. The gradient tool lets you make gradients either in a circular or a linear fashion. Shapes make a line work layer with the option of a circle, triangle, or square you can edit. You can edit or check the shortcut of the brushes by double-clicking them. You can check every shortcut key in the Help drop-down on the top menu with the Shortcut Keys option, and change more things in it. And with text, you can add in text on its own layer. Choose a font from what it's installed on your PC, change size and color. With selections, you can select with Wand tool, which has different options for what and how you can select and how accurate it can be. The classic lasso tool with options to freehand or polygonal. Press enter to complete the lasso tool selection cleanly. With selection and deselection brush, selections appear in blue until you stop using the brush and use something else. You can make soft-edged selections unlike with the lasso options. Shift key can add selections, and the Control or Ctrl key can subtract selections by default. There's an icon that lets you move the selection itself as well, while the selected isn't being transformed yet. In the top menu selection drop-down menu, you can decrease or increase a selection area. And the transformation tools have the options for free transform, resize, deform, and rotate. Below that, there's the options to flip or rotate selections by 90 degrees. And below that, you can control what algorithms there are for transforming. Ordered from the least quality but fastest to most quality but slowest and more demanding to implement. So I recommend having the previews be of moderately low quality so you can transform things quickly, and have the final one be one of the better quality types that your PC can handle, possibly a Lanczos. Pro tip: if you press Shift while transforming a selection, the proportions can stay the same. There's a few ruler types: straight, ellipse, parallel lines, concentric ellipses, and vanishing point. The buttons next to those arrows can select all of a canvas, invert selections, rotate the canvas, flip the canvas, and zoom in or out of the canvas. They are shortcut buttons for those actions. Now, let's look at layers. Layers make it so you can do one part of the image separately from the rest of the image. You can also clip one layer on top of the other so that anything you do on that layer doesn't go beyond the boundaries of the layer below. There's the layer mask too, that does something similar, which you can do with the icon here. You can change the layer's opacity on top of the layer collection. There's 4 ways you can lock a layer. Alpha lock means the alpha transparency can't be changed, so you can only draw inside of what was already drawn in the layer. Painting lock means you can't paint in that layer. Moving lock means you can't move the layer anymore. And protect locked means you can't do anything to the layer at all. Layers can be merged together, or selection can be put on a new layer or merged with the layer below with the icons close to the layers. You can merge all visible layers or flatten an image by going to the layer drop-down on the top menu. Now, there's blending modes or layer types. These change how a layer looks and affects other layers. Inside too, there's a lot more options. The blending modes are organized by category, and the results are based on mathematical algorithms that artificially change the colors on the layers using RGB colors as numbers and putting those numbers in a formula, so the result can vary a lot and is based on how computers can interpret color. Just like with layers, brushes can have blending modes, though the kinds they can have are much more limited, but they can be used in normal layers that don't have a blending mode. Layers have options to have textures integrated with them, but with the default, they look tacky in my opinion. When you're done with the kind of art or edit you want to do on your canvas, save it by going to Files option on the top menu. I would actually recommend that if you're doing something on Sai, to save every once in a while with frequency, even if Sai has an autosave feature. It's good practice and habit to save with frequency. I would recommend to both have a folder on your PC to save art for organizational purposes, to save a copy of the document as a side tool file, and then as any of the other image formats you want. There's PNG, JPEG, TGA, BMP, Side 2, PSD, and PSB options that you can save as or export. I'll put a link in the description for in-depth explanations of what each file format is and does. But the basics is that PNG and JPEG are compressed image files where PNG is a larger file size and JPEG is more compressed with smaller file sizes and can be low quality or high quality. BMP isn't good for most art really, as it saves the pixels in an approximation of what the colors actually are, and complex colors more than it can handle look deep fried. So far, Side 2 doesn't have an option for CMYK conversion, so you can print better. So it's best to use other apps to fill in what Side 2 can't do yet. Some free art/photo editing apps that can fill some of the missing features is GIMP, Krita, Photop, and Pixlr. The last two having the ability to edit on your browser. Basically, Side 2 can do a lot of things, but it's concentrated on the drawing and painting aspects, but for what it can do, it's awesome. I'm opening my Side 2 file directory. I have 2.ico files in it, but don't worry if you don't. That was added in by me to give an icon to the Side 2 shortcut. But the SLC file should be in your folder if you have the full version of Side 2 as instructed, as that is the licensed file. I have some brushes that I installed made by others, some of which I recommend and will link in the description, like the 9 brushes by Saren Kayron on Behance.net. Unlike Side 1, Side 2 doesn't need or have a .conf file to edit what brushes you have. Instead, when you have a valid file in either the blot map, brush text, paper text, or bristle folder, it automatically adds the brush when you open Side 2 after you added the file in. Each folder name corresponds to the setting with the same name. Blot map and brush text are 2 different types of texture in the brushes with different parameters. Paper text is the texture of a layer or canvas. The bristle is just that. It imitates the bristle shape on a brush, and the way the results appear can be customized in the settings. Bristle is the easiest one to make, and you can do it in Side 2 itself. You just need a small image with a circle and a cross section, which I will give the template for in the description as well, but you can make it yourself if you want, like this. And then you can make shapes on top of the brush template, preferably with a binary tool. Save it in brush folder as a compatible file format. Then close and open Side 2 so it'll appear. Test it out. For the others, they use BMP files, also known as bitmaps. The blot map, paper text, and blot map bitmap files have to be a maximum of 1024 by 1024 pixels and has to be a file in grayscale mode. That means that making compatible bitmaps for Side 2 is not possible using Side 2 itself, and you have to use another app. From testing things out myself, online image converters do not work. You see, when I say grayscale mode, it's what kind of file the image is saved as with the color profile, and just making it black and white doesn't make it grayscale mode. What you can use to make usable grayscale bitmap brushes, you need either Photoshop or GIMP. GIMP is free, so we're using that. First, let's choose an image we want to make into a brush. I'll go to a site with free and commons source images like pexels.com. Search something like fuzz. save one of the images, open GIMP and choose the image you saved. If you want to tweak the image, then now's the time to do that. On the top menu, go to Images, then Color Mode, and choose Grayscale. I'm gonna save this as an 8-bit bitmap. Go to the Blot Map folder and save it there. I'm going to name it fuzzums.bmp. And that should be it. So, it's the same process for the other folders that aren't the bristle folder as well. I made more brushes, including ones that I designed myself. If you want them, then I'll have them in my description and you can download them there. Test out the brushes yourself. I encourage it. Like and comment if you liked this, and tell me why you liked it or if it was helpful if you can. So this is an important announcement. I finally opened up my new website that's a mixed portfolio and blog site. To celebrate, I'll have a giveaway with a sign-in period until August 30th, 2018, 11:59 p.m. EST time, where 4 people will be selected as winners. 2 will have 1 free art piece each, and the 2 other people can have 1 art piece at a 50% discount of my commission prices as long as they follow the rules and guidelines. The way to enter the giveaway is to go to my website and sign up to the newsletter on the main page, or to click the Services plus Extras section on the menu and sign up to the newsletter there so you can be counted as a candidate. Spamming will be filtered and monitored. If you spam or enter more than once, you will be disqualified for the giveaway. Please don't ruin the fun or cause problems. The giveaway guidelines on what kinds of art I'll be giving, would be willing to do, and am capable of doing will be in the Services plus Extras page, so I would recommend you read that before going in. By signing up, you automatically get access to some free mini ebooks I make and the side 2 brushes I made in this video, and any future free content I add there. A mini ebook currently there is called Paint Tool Sai 2 Tips, and you can get it if you want to continue your Paint Tool Sai 2 adventure. If you're watching this after the giveaway ended, don't worry. There will be more chances to participate in events like this later on. Subscribe for more content and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified of new videos like speed paints, tutorials, future animations, and events. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks